Well, to start off, I'm just going to toss out a couple facts. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention predict that over 300,000 sports-related concussions occur each year. Over 135,000 of these are dealt on patients aged 5 to 18, young children. Now, the term has only recently come to the attention of the sports media, but despite its buzzword status, very few people actually know what a concussion is. So what is a concussion? Well, the CDC classifies a concussion as a mild form of a traumatic brain injury. The main thing that happens is the frontal lobe of the brain slams against the wall of the skull when the skull gets impacted by a hard object. Now, this can lead to a lot of effects. Not only just shock waves traveling through the brain, but blood flow gets decreased as concussion goes onward. It can stay decreased for almost 4 hours after the concussion.
Okay.
Now, the Concussions and Sports Group, a think tank funded by the International Olympic Committee, defines concussion as a complex pathophysiological process affecting the brain induced by traumatic biochemical forces. Sorry, I'm not very good with my science terms. Now let's go for a few symptoms. Main symptoms are dizziness, headache, obviously just impacted, confusion and temporary amnesia, nausea, sensitivity to noise and light. Pupils, when you're concussed, will not dilate properly. Often one pupil will be more dilated than the other. Double or fuzzy vision to just impact the ocular pain, and difficulty staying balanced. Now, one of the main sports that concussions are prominent is football. Now, ESPN has a small segment called Sports Science, and they did a segment studying concussions, mainly head-to-head hits after they got banned in the last 2010 NFL season. They discovered that 60% of all football concussions occur from head-to-head hits. The average head-to-head hit deals 100 Gs of force to a player's head. A diving hit where a player launches himself off the ground at another player can deal up to 190 Gs of force. Now, to put this in perspective, the current football helmets can only reduce an 80 G impact to 40 Gs. That's still a lot of Gs impacting it. Now, I'd like to draw an analogy. This is an F-16 fighting Falcon. The pilot flying this thing is doing crazy loops and twists and barrel rolls. He's being impacted by 9 Gs of force. That means a football player has to deal 4 times the Gs to his head whenever he gets hit than this pilot. I know one of you did a speech on the Redskins. Can you tell me who this player is? Yes, Clinton Portis. Star running back at the 2009 NFL season. This was, I believe, week 6 against the Atlanta Falcons. He got clobbered and had to stay out for games for over 20 days, I believe 3 weeks. Another sport that concussions are prominent are hockey. Now, Durston and Trevor Isu, 2 hockey fans that run a blog, thought that this has to do with the culture of hockey. It's very aggressive and violent. Big hits and fights, they're celebrated. They're not shunned. The players don't wear enough padding to deal with the impact they're taking. And the hockey rink is surrounded by thick plexiglass boards that don't break easily. They're meant to withstand force of someone being slammed against them. Often players will just struggle against these walls and keep fighting along them, called board battles. It doesn't help that players in youth leagues and pee-wee leagues are being taught from an early age to be aggressive and body check people all the time, leading to concussions. I'm sure many of you know this player, Sidney Crosby, star of the Pittsburgh Penguins and a Canadian Olympic hero. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Caps fan. But anyways, this happened January 6th. He got knocked away, and he's only been on and off the ice recently. We're still not sure if he's going to be playing in the playoffs. Now, I'm certain you know these 2 men. Bruce Boudreau and Mike Green, coach and star defenseman with the Washington Capitals. Now, Durston and Trevor knows that hockey people like Bruce Boudreau are ranting that you're not a hockey fan if you're competing against concussions in the NFL. This is hard grained into the sport. Well, I'd like you to watch this little video.
Zuccarello to step on. Block. Zuccarello to step on. Blocked by Green. And Green. Ooh, that looked like a cross-check, almost. Probably kind of hit him with a stick. Green goes down, pulls Stepan down with him.
Green's hurt too. I'll tell you what, Stepan saw him coming, and
Amateur with a shot, deflected in! It may have been Matt Zuccarello.
Well, here's the line we talked about, the step-on line. He gets knocked down there. I agree with you there, Sam. That one might have been missed. But then as the Rangers keep going, they keep the puck in, and then there's this hit right here. Oh, boy, you know what? That was a hit right to the jaw.
Boom. Elbow to the jaw. out. Mike Green was concussed, out for 20 games. He only recently got back on the ice last night. Now, concussions also have long-term effects. Sorry, I'll stop moving.
That's okay.
Medical studies have linked concussions to mental problems, especially ones that can occur later in life. Many athletes in football who retire early attribute this to fearing for their safety and the families fearing for their safety because of frequent concussions. In fact, a University of Montreal study recently showed that athletes who suffer concussions repeatedly, they have trouble with memory and attention. Now, what's being done to fight concussions? Before the term became a buzzword in news media, not really. Many coaches just told their players, oh, walk it off, take a couple aspirin, call me in the morning. In fact, back in my high school, this poster was on the wall of the locker room. Pain is weakness leaving the body. It's a favorite saying amongst the Marine Corps. Well, getting concussed, it's much more than just weakness leaving the body. Actually, if you think about it, it's strength leaving the body. But now, it's come to attention and people are trying to stop it. The CDC and the NFL have gotten together to design a poster that would detail the symptoms and what to do if someone thinks they're concussed. This poster is mandatory. It's placed in every NFL locker room. It's also, a variation is also in every NCAA locker room, and you can find it in most high school ones as well. Helmet manufacturers designing new helmets for multiple sports that will give greater protection and cushioning to the head. As of now, you don't get much cushioning with a football helmet, and there's a thick plastic shield around it, which players often use as a club when headbutting one another. They tried to design this plastic shield to make it thinner to try and lessen the impact. And new rules and regulations are already being implemented. I'll tell you, back to the 2010 season last year, James Harrison, in week, I believe 9, I'm not sure, of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Sorry, I can't figure that out. Anyways, one of the main problems he suffered was he did a diving hit against Mohamed Masquad, a receiver for the Cleveland Browns, and knocked the stuffing out of him. James Harrison was suspended for 2 weeks and fined, I believe, $50,000. This is a version of the poster. This details the symptoms that we went over, a few facts about it, and what you should do if you or you think a teammate has it. Okay, last slide. As the NFL isn't the only group that supports its posters. Concussions happen in any sport, any of these ones. In fact, I actually have a cousin up in Vermont who skis. He botched a flip one time, and he was out of concussion. He was out for a couple weeks. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
All right.